Hello there, Assalamualaikum. I'm Shilda Ismail and you are watching the Malaysian Property Talk Show brought to you by Mitra Land. And I would like to wish you Selamat Hari Raya Aidil Adha and all those who are actually on holiday. Okay, Selamat Raya to you too, also to Faizul. We have a very interesting topic today. It's about property lifestyle. And we have today Faizul Rizwan, none other the property investment expert. And then we also have Charles Tan, who is the founder of kopiandproperty.com. Okay, thank you for being with us on this Saturday morning, in this Malaysian Property Talk Show. And today's topic is about lifestyle property investing. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about today's topic. It's quite interesting because in the past, in my generation, we buy our properties or houses because, well, it's near KL. It's near your school, or it's near your family, or maybe it's near your office. Okay, but nowadays there's a wow factor. Can I say that, nowadays people buy because it's Instagrammable. So we're going to talk about lifestyle property today, and we delve with an interesting expert today. Okay, Charles, what is lifestyle property?
Yeah, I guess nowadays everyone is talking about lifestyle. You can see the number of cafes increasing everywhere. In fact, they did a study where it shows that some areas where there are a lot of cafes, usually the prices of properties there are more expensive. So this is a lifestyle. Okay. So long time ago, if you look just a couple of years back, when infinity pool started to appear, so every other condo would have the infinity pool because that is the in thing. But today, I guess every other condo would have an infinity pool, right? So what happens next is that what are the extra things that is in the property that will make people be envious, right? Or like you mentioned, Instagrammable.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm reading a book at my poolside, and then the photo actually doesn't show the book much, but show the poolside, for example, right?
Correct.
And then in the evening, for example, oh, I'm now running in my own lake park, for example, right? So those are some of the things that is already in place today. Doesn't matter that in the whole month you only run once, but that is the feeling, that is the thing that people want today. Yeah.
So the purchasing is based on feelings now.
Emotional has always been a purchasing decision. It has always been, right? Logically, they always back it up with some logics, but emotion will come first. Yeah.
What about you, Faizul? Do you think lifestyle property could be the end thing in terms of investing? And especially now in terms of COVID-19, people are now into, somehow they are into farming, they are into gardening, etc. Do you think condos would, give that extra space, for their buyers?
Not in the long run. I mean, like, it's not sustainable for people to farm in a condo.
Yeah.
From a long-term speaking. But I think lifestyle property purchases or emotional purchases are here to stay. It has been that way. The reason why people buy double-story landed property, 1.5 hour away, simply because of this idea that my kids can grow up with, bit of land and whatnot, right? And of course, for the younger generation who are single, you can see, for example, in PJ, whereby you have one bedroom or a studio unit currently being rented at above 2,000 ringgit. But at the same time, you have a double-story house, which is a 30 years old, just like opposite the street, also renting for 2,000 ringgit. So there's one bedroom condo with a nice pool just with a mall below, going for 2,000. Then you got a landed property of double-story house with 4 rooms, also going for 2,000.
Right.
And the difference here is always going to be the tenant need at the point of time, which typically the younger generation want something better, something more that I can feel proud about inviting my friends. I can go to Starbucks while having my shorts and slippers simply because my house is just upstairs.
Yeah, we can do the OTD next to the Infinity Tool, as you mentioned. So what are the facilities that this target, as you mentioned, like a gym, or what are we looking at now?
Yeah,
what's the next thing? Yeah.
So actually, if you really look at the usage of facilities, I would not say they would use the facilities every day. To be very frank, even myself, I use my pool probably once every 3 months, right? However, all these necessary facilities will be things like a park, where I can walk,
Okay.
a mall which I can walk to, right? And the mall should have some nice cafes, some nice food, and it should be in a good location where as soon as I come out, I can reach the highway easily, right? So all those kind of things will be the lifestyle that we are talking about as well. And Faisal just mentioned that Soho unit being rented out 2,000. Actually, this is already happening. So even if you look at my younger friends, for example, a senior manager, she doesn't drive. She only stays in a Soho unit nearby KLCC. She comes up, she wakes up at 8, she's in office by 8:30. So this is like a
Nice,
lifestyle of what people actually wanted, right? And of course, for some of the more mature neighborhood, sometimes it is also good to have a new condo with facilities so that the younger generation can also enjoy there. Yeah. So typically, if you're looking at condos in some very mature neighborhood where everyone else is landed, for example, the buyers usually won't be from outside. It will be from the inside, but the second generation, right?
Okay.
Where they have kids. And that condo is just nearby their parents' house, which is one of the very good reasons to buy.
Interesting. So, Faisal, do you think that because of this, like you say, all these extra facilities, do you think the property would appreciate higher, for condos besides with better facilities, with better view, so-called property lifestyle condo? What do you think?
I think the answer is a really yes and no. Simply because, for example, if you sell something, let's say in Kajang,
Okay.
right, for 1,000 ringgit per square foot, and the condo has got a rooftop pool, the capital gain from there is not going to be there, simply because it's already overpriced by quite a fair bit, even at the point of purchase. But of course, if you buy it, let's say, for example, at 300 ringgit per square foot, the exact same property, then yes, there will be some people who are a little bit more emotional, who actually pay a 500 ringgit to 600 ringgit premium per square foot on sub-sale market, which is what we're already seeing as of today. So it really depends on the entry price. If your entry price is correct, you make money. If your entry price is not correct, or, bull run or bear run, you tend to lose money.
Okay. All right. I understand that, okay, when we're going to talk about, the next in location for lifestyle property, I understand that you went to do some observation to recently condo. It's called Gravitate. Okay. Do we have it, the video that,
Yeah, let us take a look.
Yeah,
perhaps.
take a look.
Hello everyone, I'm Azlan.
I'm Florence. We are now at the Gravitate, Klang's newest hub for the latest and trendiest in food, fashion and culture.
Now we are going to take you on tour through the property itself. Just beside me, Mr. Darren. How are you, Mr. Darren? Good morning.
I'm fine. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Darren, and he will be leading us on the tour for today.
For our lake park here is actually designed by Warus Architecture Landscaping Company. It's the same landscaping company such as Desa Park City, Central Parks. So in our lake here, it actually contains 8 acres of land. Inside of that, we also have 800-meter jogging tracks. Then we also have playground and cabana. And for our lake park, it's the first pet-friendly park in Klang. The Pier 8 Mall actually contains of 150,000 built-up square feet. Yeah, actually it's a maritime mall. So it actually contains lifestyle, F&B, dining and entertainment too. Other than that, we also have a very special aquarium, which is 6-meter diameter, maritime saltwater aquarium.
The show unit looks very exquisite. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, sure. We have few units in Ashino Residence. We have 800 over square feet to 1,002 square feet. The layout such as 2+1 bedroom to 3+1 bedroom. Other than that, from our balcony view, we have a very nice lake view. Other than that, is for our concept, we actually combine both balance of modern design and smart home living.
interesting. That's a pet-friendly area.
Yeah.
How was the experience, Charles?
I guess in the evening it will be very lively, but
Yeah.
at the time that we went, it was early morning and it was a working day. Therefore, there wasn't that many people there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Faisal. Okay. Coming back to our discussion about property investment, lifestyle property investment. Okay, Faisal, I'm going to be a bit a stalker here. I went through your Facebook, I think, a couple of days ago, and you were mentioning possible property bull run coming. That's a brave statement, a remark for you to say that. Can you explain the rationale? And you mentioned 99% certainty of property bull run is coming. Can you elaborate on that?
So what we did is that we like to study past recessions and past property bull run, and not just in Malaysia, but we studied globally, right? So basically, what we discovered is there's 4 dominoes that basically contributed to a property bull run, and basically all the 4 dominoes has been executed, for example, this year, right? So with that, we maintain our view that we think there's a very high possibility that a property bull run is coming, but that will happen circa 2022, 2023. So it's not going to happen like today. There will be a spike of NPL first after moratorium is over. And then after that, when things stabilizes, job stabilizes, and we can keep unemployment under 6%, and of course we have some level of political stability, then we think there's a 99% chance that a property bull run will happen. So this is basically what happened after we studied the 2008-2009 global financial crisis. Then we also studied what happened after the property bull run of Malaysia, Singapore, then UK. So we find out that there's 4 key elements that basically contributed to property bull run, and that have basically now been executed. So it's not a prediction that we make every year. No, I've not been saying this since 2010. You have some expert who predict every year. The next 2 years is going to be a property crash or bull run. We've never had it. So we've only said it like this year, and it was starting from March, right? Ever since COVID hit. So basically, we are confident that it will happen, but it will not happen before a small crash first. Okay,
and meaning to say, hence, is it a right time for us to buy properties at this point in time?
I mean, I'm at the point of view whereby anytime is a good time to buy property as long as you understand what is the right price, and the right price is different from one area to another, from Klang to Puchong to KLCC. Every area has got the right price. But I do feel, in terms of opportunity of purchase, there's a lot of opportunity to be found in primary market as of today, right? Simply because as of today, when you see primary market, you can actually find property at 20 or 30% discount, and the most extreme I've seen is 50. So imagine buying from property developer and then you get a 30, 40, 50% discount. So I think there's significant opportunity. HOC have given a lot of incentives. So basically for $1,000, you're going to be able to buy like a $500,000 ringgit, 600,000 property, which is not something that I see in 2008, 2009, leading to that next property bull run. So 2008, 2009, what we see is cheap interest rate, easy credit, and boom, you have a property bull run 5 years later, right? And this round is cheaper interest rate. I wouldn't say loans are easier as of today, but it's not impossible. It's not certainly not difficult. Yes. But the incentive to own a property as of today is very high.
Okay. Do you concur that, Charles, what he has mentioned about?
Yeah, actually, I I also think it's not on the timing, it's on the person, because I used to tell people that even if 2 persons bought the same property at the same time, it doesn't mean that both of them would have the same result. Because probably 1 year after that, the crisis came, the first person couldn't hold and the first person sold, the second person held on, and 4 years later, the bull run comes, for example, right? So you can see the huge gulf of result between 2 persons buying the same property. So it's actually the person, not the timing. Yeah.
Okay. So we need to see which properties will do well, in this couple of 2 to 3 years. What do you predict, Faisal?
So just because a property bull run is coming, please don't go out and simply go and buy a bunch of properties like crazy, right? So so that's not the purpose of why we mention a property bull run.
Okay.
We think properties that are well priced will do quite well. So what is a well priced property? Every area has got this thing called the median price point, or what is the average, what people is willing to pay. In Mont Kiara is different, in Klang is different, in Puchong is different, in KLCC is different. So as long as you buy at the median and below, if you buy new property property, you can basically have a 20% premium above the median. Say, for example, in an area like Mount Kiara, whereby the mean or median price point is about 1 million. Say you pay 1.1 million or below for a new property, chances are you'll be able to make money out of that. Simply because 50% of the people who are currently existingly buying the property in the subsidy area are already paying above 1 million.
Yeah.
So we think there's an upside. So if, for example, for the buyers out there, if you can find a property whereby you got a new property and the old property, and you see an old condo and a new condo both priced at about 500,000, just buy new. Because chances are in the next 5 years, the new will outperform at the same level of price point compared to the old condo.
Okay, in choosing property, what are the requirements that you need to look into? Nowadays, the millennials, will see a nice advertisement or something like that, and they will get, they want to buy it. And what are the things, the requirements that a person should see?
So if you go back to lifestyle, right? The first thing is you need to know where are you currently working versus the place that you're buying. So it doesn't make sense for someone who has to go into the office by 8:30 to buy somewhere very far away, right? But actually, if you look at how COVID-19 has changed a lot of things, some of the employers are now more flexible, and the staff can actually work from home, say 80% of the time. This meant that the choices of this particular person who can work from home is by far more, because now he can actually afford to buy a much bigger space further away, or he can also choose to buy in Klang, for example, but because Klang all are landed properties and he is a millennial, he doesn't like all these landed properties, he can now actually choose to buy in Klang, a condo, for example, because he's now working from home and doesn't need to brave the traffic to go to KL city centre, for example, right? So all these are some of the choices which are changing, but again, it's still depending on your lifestyle that you want, right? The time that you have to be in office, or can you work from home, those kind of things.
Okay, you were mentioning, in Klang there's also landed property, and now there's an uprising of, condos, etc. What do you think? Condos and also landed property. Where do you see next?
I think, like I said, it's all about price point. If you pay half a million...
Okay, put aside price point, okay?
I mean,
it depends on your...
I'll give you an example, right?
Okay.
You pay, let's say, 1 million ringgit for a landed, and then you pay 1 million ringgit for a high-rise, then naturally the landed will outperform that high-rise in the same area. Because Malaysian, in general, traditionally still prefer landed property, right? From an investment point of view, the rental for the high-rise typically will outperform the landed property by at least 100% from a per square foot basis. So this is what we find consistently everywhere in Malaysia, not just, for example, in Klang Valley. So I think if you enter the right price point, both will tend to make money. If you look historically, the best performing property in the last 10 years, for example, are actually terrace houses and high-rise. They basically both outperform semi-Ds and bungalows, right? So that's what happened in the last 10 years, if history is an indicator. So essentially, as long as you buy this thing called the mass market property, which again goes back to, remember, the median price point. So you buy around the middle price point, it's technically mass market, then you should be quite okay. So whether it's landed or high-rise, you tend to be able to make money if you buy and enter at the right price.
Yeah, but I would see, for example, if you see at Gravitate, it has everything, the facilities, you have the viewership, you have, friendly, pet friendly, etc. Charles, do you think that would be a market value, to buy a high-rise condo?
Yeah, so if you ask my parents will answer no, right? But if you look at how the whole world is changing, actually the millennials are now the new force in the industry. And the millennials would be the one buying properties moving forward. Definitely not my parents, who's now enjoying their life in their current home, right? But if you intend to continue to get people to buy from you, then your property has to be something that they want, right? So if you are targeting a Gen X, for example,
that would be
you and me, for example, we can still accept, right? We can still accept. But if you look at how the millennials are coming in, which is like 50% of the whole market already, I think you need to buy something which the millennials would like to have in the future.
That is the targeted what the developers are looking into, correct? The millennials currently they are earning, for the time being. So, Faisal, another aspect that I would love to discuss here, would an interior designing, the extrinsic value, for example, a very nice infrastructure of a condo, would also be part of a factor into lifestyle property?
It is, for sure, because, I think for the younger generation, how everything looks and feel is important. Right? I mean, like as of today, we have this situation when the food arrives that the camera eat first, right? So not we, after we get the right angle, upload it on social media, and then then you start eating lah. So how everything looks is very important.
Yeah. Okay. So this is some sort of like a mindset change also for the developers to really have a due diligence on the property behavior purchasing. So what do you think about that, Charles?
Yes. In fact, if you look at how developers are changing, we can see after 2013, for example, where the property market sort of slowed down. So a lot of all these developers who were thinking of launching 800, 900,000 high rise, actually they had to step back and really rethink because that is no longer the time. So what happens now is that they are going back to the more affordable kind of condos, not the 800, 900, but probably the
what is the price
500,
range?
500,
500?
yeah,
Okay.
600, depend on the median
What's
salary.
the space
yeah.
that they are looking at right now? The
So
target?
if you look at millennials, right? Actually, millennials doesn't need huge space,
Okay.
right? But many times, if you ask me, and I'm a millennial, right? For the same price, would I buy a bigger unit or small unit? Of course, my choice is definitely a bigger unit.
Okay.
Right? So this is very, very important consideration. It is not like every millennial will want a small space and I can price it as high as I could. That's not the point. The point is, do you understand what the millennial want, the number of rooms, for example, and what is the median price that they can afford? Yeah, based on their current income. And of course, if you look 5 years down the road, of course, the median income of these people will increase, and that is when the developer will build something new for them to upgrade, right, in the near future. Yeah.
Okay. So Faizul, as you mentioned right now, okay, for example, it's first time buyer, especially on the millennial, our target audience that we're talking right now. So Faizul, do you think they should also invest, looking into it as an investment, or looking it into a studio where you do it, you buy it for your own self?
I would say because typically you shouldn't buy a proper own stay house before you are 35. That would be my generic advice. Simply because as a young person, you have no idea where you will wind up from a career point of view 2 or 3 years from now. Is there a possibility that you might move to another country? Then yeah. Right, so to me, the criteria, if you want to buy your first property, I would say buy a property that can fulfill the following 3 criteria. Number one, you make sure that you buy property that you can sell not at a loss. So basically, you don't overpay.
Okay.
Right, so that's where the understanding of what is the median price point in the area is so important. Number two here is that you buy property that can at least cover 60 to 70% of your installment.
Okay.
So for example, worst case scenario, you are being asked to transfer to Sabah, you can still rent out your property at a reasonable price point, to the point you only have to top up maybe a few hundred ringgit, right? If that were to come. And lastly, it must be decent enough that you don't mind staying there. So essentially, can sell, can rent, can stay. If you can find property that can fulfill these 3 criteria, who are we to go and say is the right or is the wrong property? Right?
Okay. So Charles, what do you think about some property owner where they converted their lifestyle property into making an Airbnb or making a homestay? It's sort of like a trend right now.
Yeah, so Airbnb has its own regulations. Residential areas, you're not supposed to do Airbnb. So there's something which is very important for everyone to understand, because many times we think, you see all these units, they are doing Airbnb, therefore I will buy and I do Airbnb. Actually, you need to also understand, are they doing Airbnb illegally or are they doing Airbnb legally, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that currently they can do Airbnb, you buy in and then you can do Airbnb, because it may not be something which is long lasting, right? Actually I concur with Faizul. It's very important to buy a property which is meeting your current needs, right? Because I do not believe anyone in the millennial would want to buy a property and stay in that property until he or she retires or move to some other place. I seriously don't think so. In fact, if you look at lifestyle again, the lifestyle continues changing. Yeah, we do not need to look too far from the smartphone, for example, right?
Yeah.
So it used to be a small screen, the small screen, then it become bigger screen, and now it becomes much bigger screen, and then it went back to the smaller screen.
Smaller.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
correct.
so all these are continuously changing, which meant that there's no such thing as buying with certainty that this is the property I will be staying until the day I say bye-bye, for example.
Okay, so beyond just facilities, what are the other criteria that probably we need to look into? Your advice, because I'm sure there's a lot of millennials, generation Y, X, Y, Z are also watching here. What are the elements that need to carefully looked into before hey, that's a beautiful condo, I want to buy it? What are other things?
Yeah. So I guess the first thing that everyone must do is to stay safe, because in some countries, not in Malaysia probably, but in some countries we already have mortgage slaves. Mortgage slaves means whatever they earn every month, 70-80% of their salary goes to the property itself, right? So it's very important for us to understand what we are earning and then only determine what kind of property we intend to buy. Otherwise, we are going into a trap or a hole which has no end, right? Price is always most important. It's actually not the developer, not the facility, it's what I can afford first. So if I can afford a 500,000 property, yeah, sure, go ahead, right? But if I can afford a 500,000 property because I stretch myself and then every month I don't want to go cafes, yeah, probably you have to rethink a little bit. Probably a 400,000 property may be more suitable for you, right? Yeah. So if you ask me, the first point is myself, not the property itself.
Yeah, but I'm still skeptical because I don't know. I came from a different generation. I feel that nowadays, after or maybe amid COVID-19, we are still in a survivality mindset. We in the basic. We are back to basic mindset. So I don't know. What do you think about that? How do you change that kind of mindset?
What mindset specifically?
How do you change that kind of mindset? I feel that right now, no, I don't think I want to invest. I'm just going to wait for the market for the time being, because wait until they have the vaccine, get rid of the COVID-19 until the market is okay for me to purchase a property. That would be me. I mean, a bit skeptical.
I think it's a question of doing what doesn't make you lose sleep at night. Right. So, for example, if you're not comfortable, just don't buy it. Right.
Agree.
As a person that really studies the market, not only for the last 15 years, in fact for the last 30 years and multiple recessions, and I have a mentor who has gone through 4 recessions.
Okay.
Right. He's telling me these 2 will pass. Right. So, and basically for us, I would say a little bit more hardcore when it comes to investing. We are now looking at this as one of the best times to buy. Because buying pre-property bull run and buying post-property bull run, the impact can be quite significant. I was very fortunate that before the last property bull run, I bought about 20 properties, and as a result, made 5 million, right? But like what Charles was saying, buy within your means. I certainly didn't buy within my means. I overbuy, like well above my means. But as a reward for that risk taking, then you meet certain gains. But
but not for everyone.
But not for everyone, certainly. In fact, I don't recommend it to most people. It's really for people who knows what they're doing.
So in order for that, you need to know a lot of information, right, Charles? Like, what are the information that we need to know, and the current situation, the political.
So the first very important information that everyone should understand is value of money will always go down.
Okay.
So when value of money goes down, price will actually compensate for the loss in value.
Yeah.
That is the reason why when my mother tell me that laksa during her time was 10 cents, I always smile at my mother, because you have to understand that the value of money will always be going down, right?
Yes.
Which is the reason why the property that she bought long time ago, 35,000, now can be sold for 400,000. 85,000 can be sold for 540,000, for example, right? So this is how the property would continue to move. And if you look at property as a hedge against inflation, this is something that you must have. And then some people always argue about the fact that, no, Charles, you don't understand. Now, if I buy a property of 500,000, I have to pay a mortgage of 2,500. But if I rent the same property, I may only be paying 1,800. Fine, I understand and totally agree with you. Now, what happens when your income stops? When you retire, when your income stops? I have never heard of any landlord who says, since you have been paying me for the last 30 years, so now you can stop paying me rental. I have never heard of that, right? And when you look at when the time when your income stops, and then you still have to live in this world for 25 years, as long as you have the payment to pay the rental for 25 years, sure, continue renting, right? Otherwise, you better have a roof over your head where you no longer need to pay any rental on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I think we have sort of like a promotion that we have done before. If are we ready for us to get our? We have run a promotion of 50 ringgit Starbucks gift card, and what you need to do is somehow to tell us what are your desired lifestyle property, and also what are the properties amenities that you think will improve. We have chosen two selected caller, and they are going to be live on us with us if they are ready. Let's see, are they ready? Okay, all right. There you go. And this is Melvin. Hi, Melvin. So what are, okay, we have Melvin and also Leong Suk Lai, and they've been with us from the start of the show until now. How are you guys? All right, Melvin and Leong, what are your desired lifestyle property?
My desire
Okay.
lifetime home. Actually, I love English style.
Okay.
Smart home and neighbor.
All right.
Yeah.
So are you
This is
planning?
what I hope to get.
Okay, all right. What about you, Melvin? What are your desired amenities? For example, public transport. Example, you know, like having an infrastructure built by the government, etc. Is that an important factor for you? Not really.
But I would love to have a nice swimming pool view.
Okay.
That's one. Gym, obviously, and park for kids. That would be the best.
Okay, all right. Why is it that people want gym and swimming pool? I don't think I hardly go into swimming pools nowadays except for my kids.
Gym overlooking the swimming pool. That's
Oh,
the
that
best.
would be nice. What
Yeah.
about you, Faizul?
Yes.
My house has that. KLCC gym and pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of nice. I agree. And the thing about pool view here is that you will never have something being built on top of your pool,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it stays there. KLCC view can be destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Melvin. And so, do you have any questions to our panel today? We have here Faizul and also Charles. No. All right. Okay. Have a nice weekend, guys.
I have. Do,
Oh, you have
do,
a
do we get
question? You have any
Starbucks? You know,
questions?
we have Starbucks card also.
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
After this. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you get your property, your desired property. Okay, Melvin and Leong Sok Lai. Bye. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else that you probably want to advise us, especially the millennials and also Generation XYZ, not X. Okay, X will be me and YZ. You know, in terms of getting your first property, getting your first condo or house. Charles, you first.
Yeah, I guess the first thing that we want to know about the first property is that it's compulsory. So many people still think that perhaps I should wait. Actually, it's up to you whether you want to wait or not. As long as you continue to earn a lot of money, you can keep waiting.
Okay.
Because if you look at the lifestyle of the rich and famous, right? For example, Elon Musk, he says, I do not want to own any property, and he's selling all his property.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Because his wealth is so much, he can choose not to have a property, right? Because he can stay anywhere he likes. But for us, most of us, where our income is limited, and where there is a time when the income will stop, then a property is a very, very good hedge against everything else. Yeah.
Which mindset we should go first, investing or buying a house? I mean, you understand what I'm trying to say when, for you it's coming to, I'm here to make money out of the house. Or are you buying a house, your first time house?
I would say, like I said, adopt both. I would say for any young first-time home buyers of today, again, look at those three things. Number one, don't overpay. Buy within the median of an area. Number two here is that make sure that in the event you don't stay there, your rental is enough to cover at least 60 to 70% of your mortgage, right? So that means, for example, you don't end up in the situation whereby you buy a 600,000 landed property and then you got transferred to Sabah. Then your rental 900, but you pay to the bank 3,000. So that's still negative 2,000 per month, right? And lastly here is that buy something that is decent enough that you don't mind staying there.
Yeah.
So can sell, can rent, can stay. If you can find properties that meets all the three criteria, then I think you are quite set. And then of course for those who are looking to make a little bit more money out of this, potentially property bull run, get themselves a little bit more educated. And once you do, property bull run can be a huge difference in terms of especially if you invest early like me. I was very fortunate to make my first 7 figures before I was even 30, thanks to a property bull run. But please get yourself educated. Don't because of the show simply simply go and buy 10 properties. That's just crazy lah. First, get the education right first. If you follow the 3 criteria, I think you're going to be quite safe.
Okay, when you say about just now, the 3 elements that you look into, you need to be very well educated into in order for you to make money out of it into investing. What are the knowledge that we need to know?
So there's 2 things, right? One is to buy something that you can stay, whereby you don't lose money. So that's the 3 criteria, right? And then to make money, then I've got this thing called the 7 rules.
Okay.
And I've shared it on my Facebook, so feel free to go and follow. It's free. Yeah. But there's a lot more things that you need to know if you really want to make money out of property investment. It's not as easy as a lot of people made it out to be. And just because a property bull run is coming again, it doesn't mean that every single property make money. There's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. Similarly, I think there's a stock market bull run as well, and it's not all equities will make money. You pick the right ones, it turns out it's going to be quite great, like the glove companies recently, right?
Or the technology companies, some of them,
right?
AI companies, correct.
But not so great for airlines. So similarly, in every era of whether there's going to be some people make money, there's going to be some people who lose money, and the difference is always going to be knowledge and information. So I think it's very, very key. Get yourself educated first. While I bought like more than 60 properties to date, I didn't buy my first property in the first 2 years of learning.
Okay.
Right. So I mean that's how serious, and because I was I don't have rich parents, no donations from Middle East coming anywhere, and you have that 2,000, 3,000 as a capital, and you want to make sure that it's being invested in the right property. And thankfully for me, because I took 1.5 to 2 years to learn first before I buy, and my first property was okay. I move on to the second, third, fourth, fifth, and rest is history.
What do you say about I would like to ask an opinion to Charles. What do you think about career being into property investment? It's quite interesting, as mentioned.
Not as interesting as
it?
Yeah.
So I guess it's very important to understand that we do not need to be a full-time investor to be investing in property.
You don't.
So if you are working professional, for example, if you are working professional, you can still invest in property. I do not have anywhere near Faisal, but I have properties in 7 cities and towns in Malaysia.
Okay.
So as a working professional, you can also do that actually. Slowly, every 2 years you buy one, every 2 years you buy one. Something went up tremendously, you sell, and then you use the capital to buy 2 more. Yeah, that is a strategy that is available to working professional because you have stable income. And when you have stable income and you can show to the bank that you have a stable rental income, the bank will still continue to lend to you. And that's very important strategy because not everyone can go into the market and say, hey, I'm a property investor. I guess majority of Malaysians are still a working professional.
Yes.
But it is really, really possible to buy slowly, wait for capital appreciation, use that to buy more. Yeah, that's very, very possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where we need to be educated and get all the knowledge from getting from your website and also getting from Faisal. Okay, I think that's all we have for today's conversation, and we had a really fun stuff. Faisal and Charles, do you guys have anything to say for today? Charles, I see that you
Please do visit kopiandproperty.com. This is a very good property blog written by me every day.
Okay, all right. What about you, Faisal?
Like I said, if you follow the 3 rules, I think you'll be quite safe. If you buy primary market for the next 12 months, I think the discounts and the opportunity are actually quite significant. One of the best times to buy primary market property in the last 15 years, I would say, is today. Right? And for those who are thinking about learning more, feel free to follow me on Facebook. I've got this free Facebook group that I created called Faisal Rizwan Private Group Free. Join there. Every information that I teach for free. And if you want to learn a little bit more, follow both of us.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for being with here on a Saturday morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Shilda Ismail and signing off. Bye-bye. Thank you, guys.
Hello everyone, I'm Florence.
And I'm Azlan. We are now at the Upper Vale, a 16 Quartz Melawati. It is a sanctuary for city people with a love for nature.
Sounds wonderful. I've heard that the Upper Vale is situated at one of the highest points at Melawati. Now you can enjoy breathtaking view and fresh air while relaxing in this resort-style facilities.
A new age of green living in the city. It sounds comfortable and not to mention friendly to the environment.
Upperville is located at one of the highest point in Malawati and is nearby to the proposed UNESCO World Heritage, which you can enjoy the greenery and the mountain view. It's nearby to the Malawati Mall. It's just around driving distance 5 minutes and you can easily access towards to the KL City Centre.
And let's take a look at the show unit now.
This is Upperville showroom, which is 1,050 square feet. It's come with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and every bedroom is able to fit for the queen size bed because the size is very spacious, and each unit we will provide you 2 car park. So surrounding is a landed property which you can enjoy the unblocked view towards to the Quad Ridge and the mountain view and towards to the KL City Centre.
I'm looking for the first property for my family. Once I reach for the showroom here and I see the surrounding, this property is surrounding by the landed property and then with the greenery and then also with the mountain view. And then the square feet come with 1050 square feet, come with a 3-room, 2-bathroom. After everything is explained from a salesperson from the Mitra Land and then also with the attracting package, so I straight booking on the spot.
Upperville is my first home. Sebab kenapa I pilih Upperville is I sangat amazed dengan kerja Mitra Land, which is 16 Quartz Development yang terletak sebelah je dengan Upperville. And yes, yang paling best sekali, I akan nampak KL City View pada waktu malam yang sangat cantik dan sangat amazing.
Hello everyone, I'm Azlan.
And I'm Florence.
Thank you for tuning in and we hope you enjoy our today's session brought to you by the Malaysian Property.
Once again, a round of applause to our moderator and our speakers for today. And also a big thank you to our Facebook partner, Malaysia Kini, our supporting organizations and all partners.
So Florence, can you share with us what's the topic for our next session?
Sure, Aslan. In our next session, we will discuss about property quality.
Such a good topic to be discussed, right?
Yes, exactly.
So when home buyers purchase a property, they are buying more than just a new home. Quality is a keyword. It plays a crucial part in every single construction project, and we believe all home buyers will love to own a good home.
Poor quality in workmanship can not only result in significant costs in rectification works, but also consequential reduction in profits. That sounds awful, right?
Yes, Florence. So come join us on 15th of August at 11 a.m. for the latest information about property workmanship. Do register with us for more info and updates, or simply check out our social media platforms.
We hope to have you with us and thank you for your time.
See you next time. Bye.